Jai Jai Raghuveer Samartha. Hello friends, my name is Rohit Bapat. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I will present my interpretation of Manache Shlok or verses for mind composed by Sri Samartha Ramdas Swami. Today we will talk about Shlok number 8. First we will read out the Shlok and then we will discuss about it. देहे त्यागिता kirti mage uravi मना सज्जना हेची क्रिया धरावी मना चंदनाचे परित्वा जहिजावे परी antari sajjana neevavave. So this is the verse number 8 in Manache Shlok. In nutshell, this verse teaches us about what should be the guiding principle while performing our karma, our duty, how we should approach the sufferings in our lives, and what kind of goals we should have in order to have a successful life. So let's try to understand the meaning of this verse sentence by sentence. The first sentence is Dehe tyagita kirti mage uravi. Dehe tyagita. Deha means body. Tyagita is word derived from tyag. Tyag means to leave or to abandon. Kirti means legacy, your glory, your past good deeds. And mage uravi means leave behind. So word by word, the translation of this sentence can be: whenever you will abandon your body, your glory you should leave behind your glory. Now, there are multiple ways to interpret this sentence, but I want to remind everyone about one sentence by Sri Samartha Ramdas Swami again, that talks about Marave Pari kirti rupe urave, which means that even if you die, your legacy should continue after your death. Death is ultimate. Everyone is going to die one day. But do something. Your karma should be such that your legacy should remain behind. That is the existence after death. So do something that is worthwhile even after you're not bodily existent in this world. So this is what this sentence talks about. Dehe tyagita kirti mage uravi. Think about this. After your death, you are still remembered. We praise those people who helped us. We praise those people who guided us. Even after death, we talk about them. So work like that. When you leave your body, when you cease to exist in this life, have your glory remain behind. Do something in your life while you are alive that your legacy continues. So you'll have to think about it first. Manache Shlok is not merely the shlok or the verses about Advaita all the time. Of course, it has the undercurrent of Advaita. It has the undercurrent of Vaishnava Bhakti Yoga, but it also talks about the Karma Yoga. Sri Samartha Ramdas Swami asserts that you should live your life the way it should. You should not run away from your responsibilities. You should do what you are supposed to do. Dehe tyagita kirti mage uravi. Do something while you are alive, that when you will leave this body, when you leave this world, people will talk good about you. People will praise you. You will have your legacy and glory remaining behind beyond existence, beyond death. That is the existence after death. if I talk about all the scents, in Bharatvarsh, even the example of Sri Samartha Ramdas Swami, bodily he is not with us. He died many centuries ago, but still his glory, his words, his teachings are still with us. This should be the example. This should be the guiding principle. That's what Samartha talks about in the second sentence, that is, Manache Sajjana hechi kriya dharavi. O noble mind, Manache Sajjana hechi kriya. This kriya means the process or the work or the karma or the guiding principle of your deeds. Hechi kriya dharavi. Dharavi means to hold on to. So you should hold on to the principle that your glory, your legacy will remain behind even after your death. That should be your guiding principle, the basis of all your deeds and karma. So think about this. When you will leave this earth, when you will leave this world, what will you leave behind? That will be your legacy. So do something that your legacy remains. And Manache Sajjana hechi kriya dharavi. Work in such a way that you achieve this goal. Work in such a way that your legacy remains behind you, even after you're not bodily existent. The third sentence is Mana chandanache paritva jhijaave. Mana, O mind, chandanache pari. Chandanache, chandana means sandalwood. Pari is a word that directly translates into like. So, O mind, like sandalwood, twa jhijaave. Mana chandanache pari, twa jhijaave. Twa is an expression in old Marathi language. Twa means you. Jhijaave. Now, in literal translation, jhijaave comes from the Marathi word called jhij. Jhij means deterioration due to friction. And if you know about the sandalwood, you will have to use it, grind it on some stone or some platform so as to get the paste out of it or the powder out of it, to bring out the essence out of it. Indian poets and saints in particular use the metaphor of sandalwood quite a lot in their poetry. Here also Samartha talks about Mana chandanache paritva jhijaave. You should not worry about the friction. You should not worry about how it pains you. O mind, be like sandalwood. Conquer the pain, because that will bring out the true fragrance and essence. Now, Advaita Siddhanta talks about the truth and existence of that Parameshwar or Paramatma within everyone. And if you want to bring it out, it is possible that you will have to go through pain. You will have to go through agony. You will have to go through suffering. Now, this suffering may not be physical all the time. It can be mental suffering. It can be social suffering. It can be anything. But be like sandalwood. Sandalwood can only be useful whenever it is ground on the stone, whenever it is powdered by certain process of friction. So unless and until the sandalwood goes through this pain of friction, the fragrance doesn't come out, the essence doesn't come out. So sometimes you will have to go through that. So be ready. Be ready for those sufferings. Be ready for that friction. And be like chandan. The more you grind, more essence you get. More you suffer, the more fragrance comes out. So likewise, in human life, more you suffer, more you go through the pain, the more truth should come out of you. The more truth you should see, the more truthful you should be. So be like chandan, be like sandalwood. Be more and more truthful through your sufferings and pain. Be ready for that. Be ready for this suffering. And the last sentence is Pari, antari, Sajjana, neevavave. Pari again. Now here the meaning of word Pari is different. Here Pari means but. Pari, antari, inside. Antari means inside. Sajjana, the good soul, the noble soul. Neevavave. Neevavave is a word derived from the Marathi word nivane. Nivane means to calm down, to find the peace, to find the rest. Now, the way I interpret this sentence is that even if you have to go through pain and friction like sandalwood, let the guiding principle be that you will leave your legacy behind even after your death. Now, while doing this, you might fail at times. You might not achieve what you want to achieve at times. You might fall short sometimes. But even if that happens, Pari, antari, Sajjana, neevavave. Every man has a good soul within him. Every man has a sense of Paramatma. That ultimate soul, everyone has that essence in every humankind. So that Sajjana, that good soul, that noble soul, don't let it become restless. So the way I interpret it, yet while suffering, you should not let the good soul become restless within you. Because the moment the good soul becomes restless, you will digress from the path of truth. You will digress from the righteous path, you will digress from the dharma, you will digress from the karma. This restlessness is something that you will have to calm down, that is neevavave. You are a sajjan, you are a good soul by default. Let that sajjan be sajjan. Let that good soul be a good soul. Don't be restless. Don't be restless just because you don't achieve something what you think you should or what you think you deserve. Don't do that. Be like sandalwood. Sandalwood does not expect anything from anyone. Think about this. Now this is my interpretation, okay? Sandalwood does not demand anything from anyone. Sandalwood does not seek out recognition from anyone, and sandalwood does not want to prove anything to anyone. It just wants to be sandalwood. It just becomes like sandalwood. It just does what sandalwood is supposed to do, that is to spread essence, to give fragrance, to be truthful to the existence. So this is how I interpret this whole verse, that how you should work, what you should aim as the goal of your life, what people should talk about you after your death, that is existence after death or existence beyond death, then what we can learn from sandalwood. And after all this, even if you go through sufferings, even if you go through hardships, frustrations, no matter what, in our lives also. Now this is something I want to stress, that all this video series I'm not doing just because I want to make some interpretations. I want everyone to learn something from these verses. Now we all go through these sufferings and failures, everyone goes through that. But those failures should not make us bitter. Those failures, those shortcomings should not make our Paramatma, the good person, the good noble soul within us, restless. Because this restlessness will digress you from the true path. Keep calm. Calm down that truthful soul within you and focus on your work. Focus on what you want to do. Focus on your kirti, the glory. Let that be your goal, and not to prove to somebody else or to compare to someone, Don't bother about that. Just be focused, be on your path. Think about sandalwood whenever you think about sufferings, because all sandalwood goes through is suffering, that's it. Yet it does not become bitter, it does not leave from its essence, character, fragrance. It does not go away from that. It remains sandalwood. So you be yourself, even if you go through hardships, even if you go through failures. Just be truthful to yourself and just think about what you will leave behind when you leave this world. So this was my interpretation of Manache Shlok, verses for mind, Shlok number 8. If you have any questions or doubt, please feel free to comment. I will try to answer your questions and queries. If you like this interpretation, please do like and share to many people, especially to those who want to learn about Manache Shlok, who want to learn about Marathi spiritual literature, but they find it difficult because it's in Marathi. They can't read or understand Marathi. I'm especially making these videos for all those people who find it difficult to read, learn or understand Marathi. Okay, let us spread the teachings of these great souls and saints to each and every one, and we will try to live our lives the better way. Thank you all, and in next video I'll put my interpretation of next verse. Till then, Jai Jai Raghuveer Samartha.